You're listening to Unfiltered with Rich and Lou, where common sense still speaks. Two Gen X voices, no spin, no apologies. Let's get into it.
Hey everybody, welcome back for another episode of Unfiltered with Rich and Lou. I'm Rich.
I'm Lou.
And how are you?
What's up, guys? How you doing?
So, I know it's been a little bit of time now. We're maybe about 15 days or so. I don't know. I can't even keep track anymore. Talking about Charlie Kirk. We said in our last episode that we would dedicate our next episode to him, and we are, and here we are. I saw that the Vice President, J.D. Vance, stepped up and hosted his podcast for him.
Right.
In remembrance of him. And I didn't catch all of it. I caught a couple of clips. He did what he could do. He said some kind words. And it's just nice to see people trying to carry it on,
Yep, exactly. I don't know how many of you guys are familiar with Charlie Kirk. Some people don't even know who he is. But I know him from TikTok, clips from him debating college kids. I know he had a podcast, but I didn't personally watch it. So I got clips of everything he did.
Yeah.
He seemed like a nice guy to me. He seemed like a fair guy to me. A knowledgeable guy. Not a college grad. Self-educated. Religious man. And he stuck to his beliefs. And
Self-made.
Yeah, self-made. 31 when he was gunned down. So he was self-made early on.
Yeah. The amount of things he accomplished by 31, right?
Incredible. He didn't care what you thought. He quoted the Bible a lot. And
that he did. He knew his Bible very well.
He knew a lot of things very well.
Yeah, he sure did. It's hard to stump that man.
And a lot of people say he was a political figure. I don't consider him a political figure. I consider somebody a political figure who holds some kind of office.
Yes, I agree.
Or an elected official. I believe he did a podcast, and politics was one of the subjects he talked about.
Right.
But he also talked about religion, transgenderism, education system, defense in America, foreign policy, and I even saw him debate Michael Jordan versus LeBron James. So he wasn't a sportscaster, so you can't really say that. He just, whatever you wanted to debate, he would debate you. And he would try to bring the facts, whether you liked it or not, whether you cut him off or not, he always let you speak. I never saw him, I saw him get upset once, and we'll get into that later, and that's a funny story. But that was never with the college kids. And the college kids were never forced to debate him. It was always voluntary. You didn't have to go up to him. He could have sat under that tent all day and not spoken to one person.
Right. Open mic.
It was all voluntary, So I understand, some people don't like him. I've heard them accuse him of hate speech. I don't believe that.
No.
I believe that a lot of people these days, if they don't like what you say, they consider that hate speech because you're upsetting them.
They just hate what you said.
Right. But
you're not speaking hate speech.
Right. It's upsetting you. Like years ago, you could say stuff and people would disagree and get upset, and that would be the end of it. And you went and you had a beer or you hung out, and that was it. Nobody got beat up. There was nobody protesting and, calling you a racist. I mean, whatever you say now is you considered a racist if you're not careful. It's just
walking on eggshells every day in my life.
It's crazy. It's like, wouldn't you rather just let everybody speak their mind? And I get there's consequences. It's not. Yes, you have freedom of speech, but yes, there is consequences. And But what this guy said, these were his beliefs. Just like if you would ask somebody who follows the Nation of Islam what their beliefs were,
Right.
and they told you, and you got mad at them.
But they'd be offended.
Right. But we don't do that.
Right.
We say, well, that's their beliefs, and it's accepted. But we don't do that with other people, and I wonder why, So.
Yeah, it was crazy. So I was at work when this happened, and I have a TV in my office. Sometimes it's on, sometimes it's off. And it happened to be on. And I happened to have the news on. And boom, popped up on the screen. And I'm like, oh my God. I can't. So I text my wife. I'm like, Charlie Kirk just got shot, I thought, in the chest.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Because that's what they said at first, And I said, hopefully it wasn't a large caliber bullet and pulls through and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
And with that, my phone starts going. I get a text message from my soon-to-be son-in-law, and he sends me a video of the whole thing. Then another video. Then another video. He sends me like 5 videos. Finally gets one where it's close up. I mean, it's literally, the guy had to be, I don't know, less than 50 feet away from the stage.
Right.
And it was clear. I have it saved on my phone. Clear as day.
Haven't watched it.
And you see it hit his carotid on the left side.
Right.
You see his hands just come up and lock up, which that's like it's like your brain. It's like a natural instinct once it hits that, because it's like you're about to die.
Right.
So he did that, and then he kind of just slumped over to his left, and the amount of blood,
right,
and the speed that it came out,
I've heard
it almost looked fake.
Yeah, a lot of people said, "Is this AI?"
Yeah, it was.
People said that to me.
Unreal.
No, I haven't watched it. I don't want to watch
my
it.
dreams. I'm telling you.
Right. I saw the far away view, and that's all I need. I saw him in the chair. I saw him go to the side. I heard the gunshot, and that's all I need. Don't want to see somebody like that. Somebody I liked.
Yeah.
I didn't know him personally, but I liked him. I liked his views, and to see something like that, and that stays with you. Like he said, that vision is going to stay with you for life. It's one I don't need.
It's like part of me is like, I wish I didn't see that video itself.
Right.
Because it was, it was pretty bad.
Yeah.
It's been a long day, been a long week.
Yeah.
It was pretty bad. It was pretty brutal,
Yeah.
And it's burnt in,
Yeah.
But at the same time, so like I'm saying, I wish I didn't see it, but at the same time, I'm glad that I saw it, because if I didn't see it, would it have as much impact? I want to say yes, it would,
Right.
but we'll never know because I saw it.
Right.
And when I saw it, like, just the passing of him made me angry enough, because look, it's 31 years old. It wasn't his time. Obviously it was. He's not here, but
Right.
you can't say, who knows whose time it is. You don't know. It's a whole
No.
other conversation. But to actually see it and see, it was a clear assassination.
Yeah.
Clear assassination. It wasn't like somebody was hoping they could hit him from nah, man. They knew what they were doing. They were skilled. I'm not saying they were a Marine sniper, but
Right.
it wasn't like they bought a gun 2 weeks ago and trying to figure it out. They
Right.
were familiar with how to shoot down range. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
to get them like that and to see it, and as senseless as it is, like, the reason is because you didn't like what he was saying.
That's what gets me.
That's disgusting.
Yeah, he wasn't a criminal. He didn't hurt anybody. He didn't have a record.
Nope.
And I know some people disagree, but I didn't hear any hate speech. I don't even know what hate speech is, but I didn't hear him advocating for the death of anyone, which that's the only thing I would consider hate speech, if you actually came out and said, I want this person or this group of people to be dead. And that's what I consider hate speech, and that's it. That's all I would consider hate speech. But yeah, at 31 years old and all he accomplished, to go out like that, and just for the record, I don't think the guy they have in custody is the guy. I just don't. I'm not buying it. It's too.
Not either.
Yeah, it's too, like you said, like a sniper or a professional. That kid doesn't look like a professional anything. And
No,
I've heard
he's a high school student.
Right, I've heard hunters say 200 yards is not that long of a shot. They've done
Right, I've heard a lot about that.
They've shot deer at 200 yards. It's not 500 yards is different. 200 yards is not that bad of a shot. Not that hard of a shot. I mean,
I've shot 200 yards before.
yeah. So it's not, especially you got a scope.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it's not
I had
that
a
hard.
scope, and it's.
But think about the shot, a neck shot. I mean, that's precise.
I was going to say that's pretty precise.
Yeah.
Because I was hitting the target, but I wasn't bullseye.
Right, and most of us
Trying.
would, if you were
wasn't
going to do
happening.
something like this, I would go center mass, like a cop is trained to
Yes.
shoot.
Yes.
Because you're going to hit something more likely. You're going to hit something here instead of going for something here.
Right. I mean, your target goes from this
Right
to this.
to that. We were talking 6 inches across, maybe 7.
I'm kind of fat these days. Probably about 9 or 10.
But yeah, and it was a sad day. And like I said, I didn't know the guy, but I felt really bad. I felt like I did know him.
Yeah.
I felt like a friend died. That's how it was. The hatred and disgusting videos I've seen, and I'm a registered independent. I didn't like Joe Biden, but I never wished death on him. Okay, I never wished bad on him. I just wished he wasn't the president. That's all.
Right.
I didn't want any harm to come to him.
Right. We weren't like, all right, take this man out.
When John McCain died,
I mean, out of office, yes, but
Right.
not.
when
not
John
out.
John McCain died, I didn't cheer. I didn't celebrate. I didn't like him, but I didn't cheer.
Right.
I actually respected him. I gave him his props. I posted on social media, thank you for your service, because he did serve in the Army, and he served in the Senate, and that's it. I don't have to put, anything else. And that's the way it should be, but it's not. It's people are taking politics way too far. I mean,
Yeah, they really are.
I mean, and this guy wasn't a political figure. He's just a podcast guy. That's it.
With a political view.
Right. That was one of his views.
He was a conservatist.
Right.
He was a conservative. So if you're a conservative and you speak about it and you speak about religion, all of a sudden everybody hates you.
Right. But he didn't speak bad about your religion. He just spoke with
Right.
about his religion, what he thought.
Right.
And if you liked what he thought, great. And if you didn't, tell him. He let you tell him.
Right.
And that's
You don't
it.
agree with me? That's okay. Explain your side. Help me understand you.
Right. And then when you're done debating, you go home.
Yeah.
And that's it. And but he didn't get to go home that day. And
Sure didn't.
I heard that his kids were there.
Yeah, mixed reviews on that one. I'm hearing that his family was there. I'm hearing his family
I heard
wasn't
that too.
there.
I heard 2 things too.
Yeah, so
I'm not sure.
I don't know. I want to say they probably were,
Yeah.
based on
Which would suck.
that would suck.
I mean, now that kid's, you didn't even know him, and that's going to stick with you for life. Imagine that's your
Right.
dad,
Right.
and you're
Right.
5. I don't know, 5 and 3, I think his kids are.
Something like that, yeah.
He's only 31, so he can't be that
Right.
old. So.
I mean, look, he got saved, I think, when he was 15. He started Turning Point USA when he was 18. And here he was, 31, with Turning Point USA chapters around the world.
Yeah.
What that man did by the age of 31. Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And my theory on why he was taken out is because his influence was getting very big.
Growing by the day.
He was actually swaying college kids
Yes.
who are notoriously Democrat,
Yep.
left wing, for socialism. He was bringing them to the other side,
Yes.
and that made him dangerous, and they didn't want him around anymore.
Sure did.
That's my theory. You can take it in. or leave
Listen,
it.
I'm right behind you, man. He was the
Yeah.
future of the conservatives,
Right.
the Republican Party. He was he was 31, 35. He can run for president. Not saying he was
Yep.
going to,
No.
but one day I'm sure he would have.
Sure.
And I remember him being. I saw an interview where he was asked, and he was like, "No, I don't really plan on it." But hey, man, you never know.
You never know. Look
And
at Donald Trump.
I believe that's what Donald Trump said in an interview back
Right.
in the late '80s, early '90s.
Right.
No, I would never. But hey, you never know. Here we are,
Yeah.
term 2.
Yeah. Ronald Reagan was an actor.
So,
You know.
so turns out, the passing of Charlie Kirk. I am still going back and forth with text messages currently while we were preparing for this show. And the person I'm going back and forth with doesn't even know that I'm doing this show today. I don't even know if he knows that we do a podcast. But I've been friends with this guy somewhere around 15, 16 years. And, life led us down different roads. And he is a pastor of a church. But we're still, we don't see each other, but we're still like friendly. We text, we call each other for holidays and birthdays and that kind of stuff,
Right.
But we don't like go to ball games or nothing like that. He's married, kids, does his thing. He's got younger kids. He's got a teenager, a young teen, and elementary school. I forget how old he is. My kids are grown, out. I got grandkids. It's whatever. So our lives are at 2 totally different levels right now. But, we're always connecting, keeping in touch. This happened, and he wasn't being disrespectful towards a guy dying, but he was like, yeah, that man was evil and racist. And I'm sad that we lost someone, but
I don't believe.
I can't put him on this pedestal So, with that, I have been not just defending the legacy of Charlie Kirk to him. I mean, who am I to defend that man's legacy, right?
Right.
But I feel like I've been doing a good job, and I'm going to tell you why. I got this guy now. He's doing research. He calls me every couple days. Okay, so 2 days ago, we spent about an hour and a half on the phone debating about things that Charlie Kirk has said, how they've been taken and viewed, and now he's a man of faith. I'm like, listen, I'm not a pastor, but I know a thing or two about a thing or two. So,
There you go.
so we kind of got into it and into the discussion. And when I kept outlining how he would frame his life around his faith. And I said, if he said this, he said that, he said this. That's racist. Mm-hmm. And I said, okay, tell me how. Well, he said this, this, this. Okay, tell me how that's racist. He didn't say anything derogatory.
Right.
He gave you a statistic.
Right. Exactly.
Now, statistics are racist. It's a mathematical equation.
Apparently they are.
So it went from complete like this
Right.
to now this man is doing homework.
Yeah.
So fast forward to today. All this time later, right?
Right.
Fast forward to today. He calls me up. Well, first he's texting me. And he's like, thought a lot about our conversation a couple days ago, said a couple things. And I'm at work, so I'm just like, I'm texting him back as much as I can. And he calls me. I'm like, you don't normally call me during the day. We're working.
You really got under his skin.
No, I really, I guess
You
I
felt
did.
the need to call you?
I must have.
Oh yeah, you hit a nerve. Trust me.
So we spent over 2 hours on the phone today while I'm at work. So I'm outside, and I never leave my office at work. I don't get. If I get up, I'm either going to the restroom or the water machine. That's it. I have a coffee machine in my office. I have a refrigerator in my office.
Right.
I don't get up for nothing. We order food. They bring it to me.
Gotcha.
Like, I just don't stop working.
Right.
But that's just, I do that so I can leave at a decent hour.
Right.
I'm going to do walk around the office and scratch my head and have conversations with a bunch of people and then have to work an extra 3 hours after everybody leaves. No,
Yeah,
I'm going to
man.
get my work done and go home. So I'm outside pacing around in the parking lot. We had this whole conversation about, again, I'm now defending things that were said by Charlie Kirk. Now, he's getting me at work. I'm not in front of a computer. I'm on my phone. I'm not researching anything on my phone. And he was still bringing up the most generalized statements that were cut off, and creative editing and all that kind of stuff. And he's like, what about this? What about this? What about this? What? And conveniently, I knew exactly which ones he was talking about because I've seen so many of his videos. And again, not like Lou, I didn't really tune into his podcast, but I would catch clips on like TikTok or Reels, and I would catch these clips and I would get into that rabbit hole. And I'd be like, you know what? I want to see that whole clip. I don't want to just see that. I want to see everything. And
Right.
because if I'm going to form an opinion, I want to form an opinion on the full story,
Right.
not 5 sentences.
Right. And,
So, and I explained that to him today, actually.
yeah.
And I was able to defend Charlie Kirk, and the things that he said that were taken out of context in the clips that he had seen.
So much taken out of context.
It's crazy. So I was able to defend everything. Everything was great. We left off on a pretty good note, right? A little over 2 hours on the phone. We said a lot, but we're two men who understand each other and in each other's backgrounds. You know what I mean? We're not of the same race, so it's a very valid dialogue back
Right.
and forth with him and I,
Right.
and we never get disrespectful towards each other. We respect each other's boundaries, and we never get any, we don't raise our voices, nothing like that. And we can have these amazing dialogues. So it's all done. Now I think I'll probably hear from him next week or something. Who knows, or maybe I'll call him, whatever.
Wrong.
3 hours later, he's been blowing my phone up. So he's trying to dig up every clip he can of Charlie Kirk taken out of context. And then he's asking me, what are your thoughts on this? Dude, what is this, Pitfall? You setting me up for the trap here? Like, that now, because you can't argue the truth,
Right.
you're going to continue to twist
Pivot.
to get me to try to falter. And you're going to try to get me to say something that you can twist and say, see?
Gotcha.
Yep.
Yep. So,
Got to build a better trap than that, my friend. Not me. But it's amazing because this is a guy. Now, the same conversation I had with him today, he says, do you remember when we started working together? That's how I met him, was through work.
right.
And that was before I had my own business. So I said, yeah, of course I do. He goes, do you remember when I came into training and you used to get mad at me because I wouldn't take notes? I said, I absolutely remember that. That used to really frustrate me because I did the training and it was a 2-week course. And here's this guy sitting here not writing anything down. I'm like, bro, come on, please take a note. Because if you failed training, you'd have to go out on the floor anyway, and do side-bys, whatever. And then if the side-by didn't button up your training, you had to come back in before you're allowed on the phone.
Okay.
So it was a lot for me because now I have to train this person for like a month.
Right.
So it was very frustrating when somebody wasn't even trying. So I said, absolutely, I remember when you weren't taking notes. He says, well, that's because I was studying you and paying attention to you. He says, I modeled myself after you, and that's how I'm able to do what I do. And that's why I have my church and I can speak the way I speak. Really?
Okay.
So I said, you have all that faith and confidence in me, yet I'm wrong about everything I'm saying today?
Ironic.
Right. The irony is incredible.
Crazy.
That was just today. And he's texting me right now. It's crazy. But listen, always respectful. You know what I mean?
Well, that's the thing. You kept it respectful. You
Right.
guys debated. He presented his stuff. You presented yours. And at the end of the day, everybody went home.
That's it. Great dialogue. No
Yeah.
hard feelings.
And that's the point of what we're talking about today.
That's right.
Um,
That's
I-
what Charlie Kirk stood for.
Right. And I have some of the hate speech, as they call it.
Bring it.
the taken out of context quotes and things that he said. So I took the thing that the news reported as hate speech, and then I went and got the rest of it. So it sounds totally different when you look at the whole picture.
Yes.
You know. So let's start out with a little one. So Stephen King, I'm not sure when he said this, but he told everybody that Charlie Kirk advocated for the stoning of gay people to death. Stephen King, everybody knows Stephen King.
You know
Yes.
who Stephen King is.
That's
yes.
Stephen King, the horror guy.
Right.
So, and then he came out, I think 24 hours later or 2 days later. I have apologized. Charlie Kirk never advocated for the stoning of gays to death. Like, okay, then why in the
Why did you
world
say it?
would you come out when you knew damn well it wasn't true? Like, why would you say that?
I'll tell you exactly why they do that.
Right.
The accusation alone.
Right. It's almost like the rape accusation.
Right.
You're guilty until it comes out that you didn't do it.
Right.
You're already
and
stained.
even once you're cleared,
You're still stained.
it's still
for it.
stuck to you. Yep.
Right. Now I got another one, which I thought was another one. Another guy did the same thing, same accusation. Alistair Campbell. Not sure who he is.
I've heard of him, but I can't picture him.
Guessing he's maybe London.
I know the name.
He did the same accusation. So, and then
Really?
he came out and apologized. Same way. I was like,
So you see what they're doing?
Yeah.
You get two people to say it.
so
If it's one person, it could just be somebody bitter. If it's two, well,
Right.
now it's
So-
more than one. So
take a piece of crap, throw it against the wall, and see if it sticks.
that's it. Nope. Fell.
That's-
All right. Say sorry. Try again next week.
Right. Okay, so here's a famous one. Now I don't know who said this, but this is just off Yahoo.
Okay.
Charlie Kirk once said, "If I see a black pilot, I'm going to be like, boy, I hope he's qualified." Okay. Now, if somebody said that,
Literally had that conversation with this guy today.
yeah, if somebody said that and I heard it, I was like, but that's pretty damn racist.
Yeah. That sounds
Yeah.
racist.
Yes, 100%. But that's not the
But
whole.
wait, there's
quote.
more.
Now I'm going to read it word for word. I'm going to read what Kirk actually said, the whole thing. Now, this was taken out of context about a discussion about DEI hirings. Now, at the time, airlines were saying that they were going to hire black pilots, whether they were qualified or not. So here's what he said. I want to be blunt as possible because now I'm connecting the two dots. Wait a second. This CEO just said that he's forcing that a white qualified guy is not going to get the job. So I see this guy, he might be a nice person, and I say, boy, I hope he's not a Harvard-style affirmative action student that landed half of his flight simulator trials. So that's the whole thing. So that's what he was talking about.
Right.
So if you're going to tell me you're going to hire somebody that's not qualified to fly the plane, I'm going to be nervous as hell if I get on that
Right.
plane now. And that's going to stick in my head like, is this guy qualified because he's black?
Yep.
And you don't want to think like that, but they're forcing you to think like that. So call me a racist. I'd rather be a live racist than a dead liberal.
Yeah, for real.
I mean, you can't hire airplane pilots according to their skin color. Maybe the guy that puts the fries in the bag, because he's not going to harm anybody. But even that's wrong. But, you know, I don't want to see the pilot hired based on his skin color. I want to see his credentials. That's all.
Right.
And I think that's fair. That's
So
all.
I literally had that conversation with him today, and I
Right.
told him, I said, it's not about because of the color of the person's skin.
Right.
I don't care if they paint themselves green
Exactly.
and wear a unicorn hat
Right.
and a pair of cowboy boots.
Right.
Who cares?
Right. I don't care if you got pink hair.
Can you fly and land safely?
You've got a septum
Oh,
ring.
you've been doing this for 15 years and
Right.
have a pristine record?
Bingo.
I'm
we
very
want.
happy you're flying my plane,
Yeah.
no matter where you're from.
Right.
But, you know,
Yeah. Now here's the
somebody said, like, whew, got to get the number up a little bit.
right.
Yeah.
Now
Flight number. No, thanks. Sorry.
here's the quote that gets everybody mad. Now this is not taken out of context. I researched this. This is exactly what he said. A lot of people don't agree with it, but I think they're taking it the wrong way. I'm going to read it.
Okay.
There is no First Amendment without the Second Amendment, which is right to bear arms.
Right.
Without the Second Amendment, make no mistake, you can't pick and choose your freedoms. They put in the Second Amendment to protect us against government tyranny. We must also be real. We must be honest with the population. Having an armed citizenry comes with a price, and that is part of liberty. I think it's worth to have a cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year so that we can have the Second Amendment to protect our other God-given rights. Now, I get why he's saying this. He doesn't want schools to get shot up.
Right.
Nobody wants that.
And he also made the comparison to cars.
Right. Exactly. So, I mean, listen, planes crash sometimes. Should we stop using planes?
Right.
Car accidents are all the time.
Yeah, he said if you take all the cars out of the
Right.
United States, you'll no longer have fatal car accidents. Did we stop driving?
Right. Exactly. I mean, would you feel
That
better?
was so crazy. Crazy brilliant.
Yeah, if people were stabbed, would you feel better? I get it's
Right.
less. You can kill less people with a knife. I understand that argument. You know,
Laws don't really stop violence. Enforcement of laws stops violence.
right. And as far as school shootings, let me ask you this: if you go to a government building, there's an armed guard there.
Yep.
If you go to a concert, there's armed guards there.
Yep.
If you go to any government building, there's armed guards there.
Yep.
Why are there no armed guards in the schools? Do we not value our kids? And if there were armed guards in the schools, don't you think that would stop these people walking in with rifles?
Yep.
I mean, I get that you don't like guns, and I get, in the wrong hands they can kill somebody, but the gun isn't the evil thing, it's the person holding it.
Right.
So let's get some armed guards in the schools. Let's pony up the money. We all pay enough in school taxes, Lord knows we do.
At least we do here.
And that's the bulk of your taxes. You think you couldn't hire a couple of guys to do the front and the back door with trained armed guards, maybe retired policemen?
Just going to say, retired cops are always
Sure.
looking for a gig.
Guys that were maybe privatized, who have a gun license, and guys like anything with a professional guy
Yep.
that has a gun license and knows how to use it and will pass a mental test. Why not invest in our kids? Why not? I mean, it doesn't make sense not to. So,
Listen, and I know that was Charlie Kirk's point.
right.
and-
Nobody wants anybody to die.
No.
I get what he's saying. To keep our rights, you lose some people. It's just the way it is. I don't want anybody to die by gunshots.
Yeah,
Who wants
it's
that?
For every video or clip or every edited video and every headline that they clip to say, he was a fascist or a racist or whatever, I can either show you the full clip or
Right.
the full thing that he said to show you that that's not what he meant, is taken out of context.
Right.
Or if you don't want to see it,
Right.
okay, let me send you 5,000 other videos that he made to
Right.
contradict what you think he's saying or doing there. It honestly, it's
I got
I'm
the
getting
I got the
angry
topper.
at this point.
Yeah,
You know,
I got a topper. This might make it a little more lighthearted.
let's see.
I got the topper, and this is funny. I know
Charlie
this isn't a
Kirk
funny
was-
show.
No, but Charlie Kirk was a funny guy
He was.
sometimes.
He was sarcastic. I'll give him
Yes.
that.
Yes.
Now, this is the topper, and this is ridiculous. But this
I
is
mean,
what
he
they
didn't
did.
mind poking a little bit.
Right,
You know
right.
what I mean?
This is
He's
so
missed.
ridiculous. You're not going to believe this one.
Go.
Okay, so there's a post on X that claimed that Charlie Kirk used a slur for Asian people. Okay,
Oh, this one.
I saw this video on TikTok, and Charlie was on the stage, and somebody got up in the audience and started yelling at him, and he started yelling back. The only time I saw Charlie yell. So, the guy gets up in the audience, and they say Charlie Kirk called an Asian woman in the audience, I guess, chink, because it says CHIN, C with 3 or 4 dots. So that's what I'm going to assume. Multiple times, the post reads, spelling out the slur in full and accompanied by a montage of video. He made millions off his racism and sexism. Okay, so here's the thing. The person who got up in the audience was not an Asian woman. The person who got up in the audience is from the Young Turks. If you're familiar with the show, and his name is CENK, pronounced Cenk. Cenk Iger is his name. And he got up out of the audience and started arguing with Charlie Kirk. So the name Cenk with an E, they tried to twist and say it was an Asian slur against a woman. There was no woman there.
Which is insane.
That's the icing on the cake, and this is the insanity that's going on now. It's just unbelievable.
They're just continuously trying to find something, so now they're just going to start fabricating.
Cenk.
Once you start fabricating, it's over.
Right, you have no credibility anymore.
None.
So the more you do this, it's actually a good thing, because the more you do it, the more people
That's
will
it.
research and find out the truth.
Yeah, I mean, Charlie Kirk is more popular now than he's ever been
Right.
in his whole life.
Yep.
And I know it's always that way when somebody of any kind of fame passes, right? They're always,
Yes.
as soon as they pass, all of a sudden everybody's,
They get elevated.
yeah.
So-
It happens. It does happen. But I'll tell you what, since this has happened, Turning Point USA has chapters.
Right.
I read yesterday, or 2 days ago, whatever it was, somewhere between 15 and 18,000 new chapter requests or applications have been submitted.
Right.
So you just completely grew a movement.
Yeah. It exploded.
Yeah,
It's exploded.
you just said like,
You made a martyr.
we're going to end it, and
Yeah.
then boom, you just tripled it.
You made a martyr.
You sure did. You sure did. But listen, there's so much to say, but it's all been said,
Yeah.
and look, it's been how long now? And it's still,
It's still on.
it's still going.
And we
You
just
know.
want to put our 2 cents in.
That's it.
I'm not a registered Republican or a Democrat. I am independent. I don't follow a political group because I don't believe in it, because you never know where they're going. You never know. If a Democrat has the ideas I align myself with, guess what? Voting Democrat. Because I vote for what
They got some work
policies
to
they
do.
have. Yeah. Right now, they're a little mess.
Yeah,
But it's what I believe and what are the best policies for our country.
correct.
Not what the letter says R or D. A lot of people vote like that. They
Yeah,
vote
no,
lockstep. That's
and
not good for
honestly,
the
it doesn't
country.
matter what you're registered as. You can
Right.
vote for anybody.
Right.
It's not like, I'm registered
But I-
independent now. I can't vote for so and so. No, you can vote
can't-
for whoever.
In the primary, I can't. I can't vote Republican or Democrat. In the primary, I can vote for president. I can't vote for the
Okay,
Republican candidate.
that part I did not know.
Yeah, you cannot. If you're independent, you can only vote independent in the primary, which there is none. So I can't vote. So when it was Trump against all the Republicans, I couldn't vote. It's not my party.
Crazy.
Yeah. So, but I don't care because that's not how I think.
Yeah.
So whoever the representative is to run for president, that's who I'm voting for, and their ideas. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, listen, if if things were different, you know what I mean, and the candidate on the other side of the aisle there was a better candidate, honestly,
Right.
with pleasure,
Yeah.
I would vote for that person.
Exactly. It's who they are.
I'm voting for principles,
Correct.
not for parties.
Correct.
You know, and I think that's another thing that Charlie Kirk stood for. You know, it was all about principles. It was, you know, he was a conservative, you know, but he was very sealed in his faith. And it just happens to be that conservatives align with his faith. So that's why he was a conservative. Not the only reason why, but it had a lot to do with it. So, you know, again, if the other side made a bunch of changes and they were going to do things better than this side is doing things, I'd be more than happy to go over there and cast my vote. You know, but for right now, it just doesn't seem to be.
Yep. Yep. So
It is what it is, guys.
Oh, that was a long one. Long show. But
Yeah, I
good
know it's a
show.
little longer, guys, but, you know,
It's okay, though.
there's still so much to say.
Yeah.
But,
Maybe we'll do a little more in the next show. Who knows?
yeah, we'll see how things unfold.
Just want to add in good on the Jets. They had a moment of silence for Charlie at the stadium. I was at the game. A lot of applause, a few boos. Good on them. Respect.
Yeah, good for that.
So, but that's it. Another one. Wrap it up.
All right.
So,
That's a wrap, fellas. We're out of here. You guys have a good week. Don't forget, tune in every Tuesday, 7 p.m. on YouTube. Like, share, and subscribe.
yes, sir.
All right, man. We're out of here. Take care. Comb your hair.
And we're out.
Thanks for tuning in to Unfiltered with Rich and Lou. Subscribe, share, and stay unfiltered.